The night was cold in Seattle. Rain hammered against the empty streets as a girl sat beneath an old bridge, clutching a torn backpack to her chest. Her name was Lily Carter. 19 years old, thin from hunger, her jeans soaked, her eyes hollow from too many nights without sleep. The city lights shimmered in puddles around her, reflections of a world that had long forgotten she existed. She whispered to herself, "Just one more night, Lily. You'll make it somehow." But she knew she had nowhere left to go. Her mother had died 2 years ago. Her father had vanished long before that. She'd come to Seattle chasing a dream, college, art, a better life. But the city had taken her dreams and crushed them. Her only company was the small notebook she carried, filled with sketches of people, of feelings, of moments she once thought mattered. Thunder rolled overhead as she pulled her hood tighter, shaking from the cold. And that's when the headlights of a black car cut through the darkness. The car slowed to a stop. A man stepped out holding an umbrella. He looked no older than 25, tall, confident, dressed in a tailored coat, but something in his eyes was soft, searching. "Are you okay?" he asked gently. Lily flinched. "I'm fine. Please, just go. It's pouring out here," he said. "You'll freeze!" "I said I'm fine," she repeated, turning away. But he didn't move. Instead, he took off his jacket and draped it over her shoulders. "My name's Ethan Hayes," he said quietly. "I'm not here to hurt you," she froze. The name sounded familiar. Ethan Hayes, the billionaire tech founder she'd seen on the news once. He was the kind of man who lived in skyscrapers and stories, not under bridges. "Why would someone like you stop for someone like me?" she asked bitterly. He smiled faintly. "Maybe because I've been where you are, lost." For a moment, she wanted to laugh. But something in his voice stopped her. It wasn't pity. It was truth. "There's a diner a few blocks away," he said. "Come have coffee." Nothing else. Just warmth. Lily hesitated, torn between pride and exhaustion. Then silently she followed. The diner glowed softly in the rain. Steam rose from mugs, and old rock music played faintly from a jukebox in the corner. Lily sat across from Ethan, still clutching her notebook, while he watched her devour a slice of pie like it was the first meal she'd had in days. "Sorry," she muttered. "Embarrassed. Don't be," he said kindly. "Eat, please." After a while, he asked, "So what's your story?" She sighed. "No story. Just a girl who ran out of luck." "Luck's overrated," he replied. "I built my company from a garage. Everyone said it was stupid, until it worked." "That's different," she said softly. "You had something to start with." "Not really," he answered. "I grew up in foster care." Lily looked up, surprised. He smiled. "Guess we both started from nowhere." Something shifted between them then. She didn't see a billionaire anymore, just a man who knew what pain felt like. And he didn't see a homeless girl. He saw someone still holding on to hope, no matter how small. When they stepped back outside, the rain had eased into a drizzle. "Where do you stay?" he asked. "I'll manage," she said quickly. He studied her face. "I have an extra guest house near the city. You can stay there until you figure things out. Safe, warm, no strings attached." "I can't take charity," she said firmly. "It's not charity," he told her. "It's a chance." And something in his tone, honest, unforced, made her nod. That night, she followed his car up a winding road until they reached a glass house overlooking the bay. Inside, everything smelled of cedar and coffee. A fire crackled softly in the fireplace. "The guest room's upstairs," he said. "The shower's hot, and there's food in the kitchen," she whispered. "Thank you." He smiled. "Get some rest, Lily." Morning sunlight filtered through the curtains. For the first time in months, she woke up warm. She looked around, clean sheets, a vase of lilies, and a view of the ocean that felt unreal. For a moment, she thought she was dreaming. Downstairs, Ethan was already working, laptop open, voice calm and focused. He looked up when she entered. "Coffee?" he offered. She nodded shyly, still unsure how to exist in this new world. "Why help me?" she asked quietly. He leaned back. "Because once someone helped me. I owe that forward." She looked down at her reflection in the coffee. "I don't even know what to do with my life anymore." Then start here, he said, pointing to her notebook. Show me your art. She hesitated, then opened the pages. He flipped through her sketches, faces, emotions, moments drawn with heart and pain. He didn't say anything for a while. Finally, he looked at her and said, "These are incredible. You could sell them." She shook her head. "No one would buy this." "They will," he said. "I'll make sure of it." Weeks passed. Ethan helped her find balance, a rhythm. He introduced her to a local art curator who instantly fell in love with her work. For the first time, Lily saw her sketches framed on a gallery wall. People came. They stared. They bought. When her first piece sold, tears filled her eyes. Ethan stood beside her, smiling. "Told you," he said. She laughed through tears. "You're insane." "Maybe," he said. "But I believe in you." That night, as they stood on the balcony, city lights stretching before them, Lily whispered, "It feels unreal." "Not unreal," Ethan said softly. "Just overdue." Their eyes met, and for a heartbeat, the world disappeared. But the world wasn't done testing them. Soon the headlines came, "Billionaire and the Street Girl." Social media turned cruel. Strangers called her a gold digger. Paparazzi camped outside the mansion. Lily felt that old shame creeping back, the voice that said she didn't belong. One night, she packed her bag quietly. Ethan found her by the gate, tears streaming down her face. "Where are you going?" he asked. "This isn't my world," she whispered. "They'll never stop judging you because of me." "I don't care what they think," he said. "I do." She cried. "Because you'll lose everything." He stepped closer, his voice breaking. "Lily, I don't care about money or headlines. I care about you." But she shook her head and slipped through the gate into the night. Rain began to fall again, just like the night they met. Months passed. Lily moved into a tiny apartment, working in a coffee shop by day, drawing late into the night. Her art slowly grew in fame, but her heart remained empty. Ethan threw himself into work, expanding his company, but every success felt hollow. Then one evening, he turned on the TV and froze. Lily was being interviewed on a talk show. Her art had gone viral after she donated her work to a charity helping homeless teens. When the host asked what inspired her, she smiled softly and said, "Someone once told me luck is overrated, that all we need is a chance." "I just hope he's watching." Ethan didn't think twice. He grabbed his keys and drove through the night. The next morning, Lily was setting up an art booth near Pike Place Market when she heard a familiar voice. "You still draw rain better than anyone else." She turned, and there he was, Ethan Hayes. His hair a little longer, eyes tired but gentle. Her breath caught. "Ethan," he smiled, "I should have never let you walk away." "I wasn't ready then," she said. "I needed to prove I could stand on my own." "And you did," he said softly. "But you don't have to stand alone anymore." For a long moment, they just stood there, surrounded by the sounds of the market, the smell of coffee and rain, two hearts that had finally found each other again. He reached for her hand. "Come home, Lily," he said. "Not to the house, to me." Tears filled her eyes. She stepped forward and wrapped her arms around him. The city noise faded. The rain fell softly around them, and for the first time in forever, she felt whole. 6 months later, the headlines changed again. Ethan Hayes marries artist Lily Carter in private ceremony on the bay. No paparazzi. No flashing lights. Just close friends, soft music, and rain falling gently as they said their vows under the same bridge where they first met. "I found you in the rain," Ethan said, "and you became my reason for every sunrise after." "And I found home in your heart," Lily whispered, when they kissed. Umbrellas bloomed like flowers around them, and the world seemed to pause, just for them. A year later, their lives looked nothing like the headlines once did. Together, they ran a foundation called ChanceWorks, funding art programs for underprivileged kids. Their home, once silent and empty, was now filled with laughter, color, and the smell of coffee. On rainy evenings, Lily would sit by the window, sketching, while Ethan read beside her. Sometimes she'd look up and smile. "Do you ever think about that night?" She'd ask. "Every day," he'd reply. "Because that was the night I stopped being a billionaire and became the luckiest man alive." And outside, the rain would keep falling, soft, endless, and forgiving, like the world itself was remembering their story.